Hey guys, Ethan Studios here, and today we're going to be taking a look at every Ninjago villain army and rank them from worst to best. As you can probably tell by my voice, I'm just a little bit sick right now, but that's not going to stop me from making such a fun video. This list is going to contain all 23 Ninjago villain factions, including generals, captains, guards, and everything in between. The only villains that will not be included are the main ones, such as Garmadon, the Overlord, or Master Chen. This list here is solely ranking armies. Everyone ready? Let's delve right into this. Coming in last place at spot number 24, we have the Core Snakes. These reused the Whipper head molds from the Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu sets and recolored it in two different variants, one with bright orange and gunmetal gray, and then they inverted it on the other two here. There are two different torso variations, and then the legs are the same except for the smaller legs here. These are really repetitive. I believe this was the 5th time we saw snakes in Ninjago. Might have been the 6th. And I think something that really makes this army weak as well is that you don't have an actual leader to lead them. Like, it's just a bunch of snakes. There's no snake general or snake king or anything. So really lame there. I do like the gloves that this guy has. This is like the brute force one here. He looks really cool, at least for what you get. This one is probably my least favorite, just with the combination of parts. And again, these just don't feel that special to me because it was the millionth time that we saw snakes from Ninjago. These are the Dragonian Warriors, brand new minifigures that came out a couple of weeks ago. We haven't quite seen what they're going to be like in the show, so I'm basing my opinion off their appearance alone, and I really don't love the look of these. They look very similar to Nexo Knight's villains. This bright red is something we've seen plenty of times in Ninjago and other non-licensed adventure themes. Again, just silver, gunmetal gray, and bright red. I don't really like the claws on their feet. These just, they're dragons, but as minifigures, like, I just don't love the idea. I'm not sold on it. I don't like this mohawk piece here very much either. I think the brand new armor piece and helmet is really cool though. The way the helmet just kind of fits in like that to make an actual dragon mouth is cool. And then if you don't like this really weird and almost feathery looking face print, you can actually spin it around, put this back on, and it looks like he's breathing fire out of his mouth. So super cool there. And then another really cool detail about these is this little dragon piece does come off on the back, and if you want to make it look like these guys are flying, you just attach it and it all fits together nicely. These are 3 new molded pieces here, so I really appreciate the effort that was put into these pieces. But as far as the color scheme and the actual idea behind the minifigures, I'm personally not the biggest fan. Coming in at spot number 22, we have the Bone Army, and the reason I put these over the Whippers is because they actually had a leader here. This is the Bone King. I decided to include him just because he wasn't a main villain in the show. He just kind of blended in with the rest of his faction, but nice to see that there is someone who's actually in charge. I love the introduction of this bone piece up here, as well as this mouthpiece right there. Looks really good in my opinion. I think the color scheme is my least favorite part of these. I think the spring green mixed with red, mixed with black, mixed with silver, mixed with some tan. It's just, there's too much going on right here, and they really don't achieve the same thing that the skeletons did. And again, it's a very similar concept to the skeletons, which were Ninjago's first villains back when it had its inception in 2011. Really interesting to see the Oni piece reused right here. It's like the Darth Maul horns, but just with 2. And then this is a very interesting helmet reuse. This is Mr. E's helmet from Crystallize. So these had some really interesting parts. You got the Season 13 Master of the Mountain armor right there as well. Again, very interesting minifigs. I like that we got a general, villain, king, whatever you want to call him. The cape is a nice inclusion as well. We don't see capes too often in Ninjago anymore. But again, this is core, which means these were very repetitive. And yeah, the color design is really what brings them down in my opinion. Master of the Mountain gave us skeletons yet again. These are the undead Skull Sorcerer skeletons. He used his dark magic to bring them back to life. The all-black color scheme is interesting, and the lighter spring green there looks really cool. Makes him look undead. But again, this is a very generic minifigure, no torso or legs, it is all skeleton parts, so there's not much detail here. At least the headpiece is really, really cool. But you also only got 3 of these in the entire wave of sets, so you couldn't really build an army either. So it's the lack of diversity and the fact that you really couldn't army build them in general that brings this guy down so low on the list. The Junkrats from Prime Empire are up next, and I actually quite like these, I think a lot more than most people do. They're really, really unique. We never saw anything like this in Ninjago, and we still haven't since. They had these brand new head molds here. We got one in this sand green color, and then one in this lighter pink, almost fuchsia looking color over here. They used the Prime Empire shoulder pad pieces, which was nice. I think my biggest gripe with these is I really just don't like the torso and leg prints. They look really, really goofy and cartoonish, like just a giant pixelated piece of cheese. I mean, I don't know, that's just really not that intimidating to me. Same with like a giant vial and then a skull with a red eye. Like these just, I don't know. I don't like the color scheme very much and the torso printing either, but I at least appreciate the head molds and the armor pieces. These stand out from the others, and I had to put them a little bit above them because they at least tried something different with these guys, which is always appreciated. These are the Hydra Whippers, or at least that's what the fans refer to them as. I don't believe they have an actual canonical name in the show as an army, but we got 2 different variants of these. We got the Foot Soldier, and then this over here is Glutinous. What I really liked about these is not the fact that they were snakes for the millionth time, but what they did with the color scheme on these. The coarse color scheme did not work for me. These, however, look much, much better. Teal is a color we don't really see much of in Ninjago, so this was a welcome change, and it fit in with the sea theme very, very well, and putting that against a black backdrop and then adding in some royal gold really makes them work. I can see how these are royal guards, so really like them for that. Glutinous is quite interesting too. It's nice to get a different variant over here just to mix up your army, and the nice thing was you could build these very, very easily. I think I bought almost the whole wave and I got about 6, 7, 8 of these foot soldiers over here. So great for army building. And yeah, these are really overhated in my opinion. The Unigami robots are up next. I'm a big fan of these. They're really, really unique. The reason they're so low, however, is the fact that there is no variety and it's very hard to army build. I think you only get 4 from the entire set wave, but as they are, I really like these. You can lift the visor up. This is his more calm face, and then when they're in attack mode, you can switch it around and get this angry face right here. I really do like that. Using the Prime Empire shoulder armor piece again as well, and then the torso and legs are great. I love that black mixed in with a little bit teal, not something we see too often, and then that classic Ninjago red. These just look like scary robots that fit into the world of Prime Empire perfectly. Up next to the Pyro Whippers, and these were the original snakes that introduce this snake head mold over on the right. Interestingly enough, all of the snakes in the wave came with this head mold. This was only in a singular set, so there was only 1 set and 1 minifigure of this guy with the more common head mold that we've seen so much now. So really interesting there. These are the best of the Whippers in my opinion because A, they were first, and B, they were very unique. These are mummies that are on fire, I mean, and they're snakes. Like, that's really, really sick in my opinion, and again, very unique. I love the translucent mold here with the fire stretching out. Again, that's something that made them more unique. And then of course we got a general here. This is Char. Love seeing the return of the iconic snake tail piece from Ninjago. The darker black is a nice contrast to the others, and they did introduce this brand new armor piece that looks very ancient Egyptian. Love that there. These guys are some really fantastic minifigures. I'm not quite sure if this is going to be a hot take or not, but I'm putting this skeleton army from 2011 at spot number 16 on this list. Let me start with the positives. There are some really good variations here. You get these 4 different variants, so 4 different generals here. Samakai obviously being everyone's favorite. He has 4 arms and this super cool mouthpiece that can open and close. This guy really carried, and there's a reason he's worth almost $100 on his own right now. And then you get these different head molds here, really, really cool, as well as a bunch of different foot soldiers. So this was super easy to build your skeleton army. The thing I didn't like about them personally is the way the torsos were done. It's just not very unique. It's something we had seen from LEGO before. Now these of course did put their own spin on it, but again, the whole idea of skeletons isn't the most unique villain idea. This was the inception of the show, so I get why they went with skeletons. Really love this little worm coming out on this guy's head over here as well. Really funny detail. I believe this is Whiplash, and then we have Cruncha and Knuckle in the middle here. So really great variation here, but the idea of skeletons is something I personally was not the most excited about. Let's continue with the hot takes. These guys here are the Anaconda cultist from the beloved Tournament of Elements season of Ninjago. There were 5 different minifigure variations, so it already checks off the variation. Really love the variety, that's great here. Introduce these brand new helmet pieces, which I like quite a bit. It's basically just a snake skull, and then this new armor piece just for the general over here. Now, my qualm with these is that at the end of the day, they're just like generic civilians with some tattoos and some snake armor and tattoos and stuff. It's not the most exciting thing in my opinion, but as they stand, I really appreciate how much variety is provided. And again, you could build your villain army pretty easily. There were lots of these guys sprinkled throughout the wave of sets. The Sons of Garmadon were not super well received by the community, but I'm going to try and make a case for them here. They are just generic bikers, but what's special about them, in my opinion, are the actual generals here. They really make them stand out. We don't even know what Kilo is supposed to be. I thought he was an Oni for the longest time, but that obviously got debunked. He's some kind of humanoid giant with tattoos, but anyways, the coolest Ninjago Big Fig we've gotten for sure. I love the tattoo printing on the side there, and then the tiny little head up top is really funny, and then he does have his crack showing. Again, very, very funny stuff. Ultraviolet is awesome over here. I love the purple detailing, makes her stand out, and again, she's not human either. She's got this grayish skin tone. I think she's the same race as Kilo, if I had to guess. And then Mr. E, we were all trying to figure out who this was back in the day. Love how mysterious he looks with these eyes here. I originally thought he was going to be the Overlord. Pretty dumb theory from myself back in the day, but it's just black and red coloring. It's simple, but very, very effective, and I love the back of the torso prints. The SOG logo really makes them stand out in my eyes. It's something different and unique, and when you see it, you instantly go, oh, that's the Sons of Garmadon. So these were the main generals. Really good job on LEGO's part with these guys. And then I just want to bring in the foot soldiers as well. These guys aren't as exciting, but I think they serve their purpose well, and you did get a nice variety of them throughout the sets. Love this brand new armor piece. Very, very useful, and has been used a lot since. But yeah, these guys just look like armored up bikers with the introduction of some little subtle colors like the pink and the blue. Again, I think that's something that makes them stand out. And then I really like the face print on this guy here. There we go. The face paint really makes him look scary. He's painted his face to kind of look like a skeleton. But yeah, I really love the Sons of Garmadon minifigures. The Imperium army is up next, and there is a very glaring flaw with these that I want to point out right away. This guy is the main foot soldier. There were tons of this soldier in the show, so main villain army builder right there, and he only came in a singular set, whereas the rest of these here all got duplicate figures throughout the wave. This guy, the foot soldier, did not. So very strange, especially considering these two are captains and this guy's generic foot soldier. Very, very weird discrepancy there. I don't know why that happened, but just wanted to point it out. I really like these Imperium minifigures though. We got gold on black and then black on gold. Love the inverted look there. The color scheme is very, very nice with the orange and red mixed in as well. We got brand new helmet pieces. Very, very strange, but very souped up and armored. I like it. And then of course a brand new armor piece as well. These guys are unique here, and I think that's why they're so high on the list. They stand out. They're like a very futuristic tech armor villain army here. So really like these guys. Also, just wanted to throw in wrapped in here from the Imperium. He's wearing the same as the Imperium guards, and he's just basically doesn't have a mask on like they do to signify that he's a general, like the eye visor. I think that's a really cool touch. And then he also has these gold teeth on the other side. Really interesting minifig. I like this guy quite a bit. Let's wind the clocks back to 2013. These guys are the Stone warriors introduced in the final battle wave of Ninjago sets. Love the samurai one over here with this brand new mouthguard piece. Covers up just that very angry face. The main variation with these was just the different face paint, so red, blue, and yellow face paint, so nice little variation. And then the torsos here, all different torsos, which again I really do quite appreciate. Lego switching things up, just the two foot soldiers have the same. But yeah, I like that you could have a lot of these foot soldiers here, and then you could power them up, beef up the army with this samurai brute force guy here, and then you had your archers over on this side. A very iconic Ninjago army, and just a really cool concept, you know, these statues of dead warriors that come back to life in stone here. Really neat. It's just now striking me that for basically every entry since the first couple, I've said, I like this quite a bit, I love this, these are awesome. I really love Ninjago villains. They almost never miss, in my opinion. And speaking of never missing, we've got the Nindroids up next. These introduce this brand new mask piece with a robotic eye over it. Super cool detailing there. I love the dual molding and the silver paint printed on that looks really good. Interesting facial expressions, so you could have these without the masks and they still look threatening and imposing. I think my only criticism here is that this one doesn't have leg printing, and he was pretty common throughout the sets, so you could get a nice little handful of Nindroids without leg printing, but at least you do get a variant that has it as well. Love seeing the open chest here, and then this guy over here has the tubes going across. Very robotic looking, and that's what you would expect from a Nindroid. These are the Anacondrae from Season 4 Tournament of Elements. Yes, there were 2 different villain factions you could build. The only reason these aren't higher is because you literally only got 3 of them in the entire wave of sets, 2 different variants, and you got 2 of this guy right here, I believe. So really disappointing you couldn't build an actual army, but as they stand, it's so nice seeing Anacondrae in the flesh. I remember being so excited about these as a kid. Love seeing this tail piece return. It's just so iconic for Ninjago. They used obviously the cultist armor piece because these are the cultists transformed into Anacondrae. New head molds right here, and I like the crimson red mixed in with, you know, the obviously expected purple color scheme. These are the Oni. These were the penultimate villains for the Masters of Spinjitzu 10-season arc. Absolutely love how these look. They really lived up to the hype. They're very creepy. They might be the creepiest Ninjago villains, period. I mean, just the dark aesthetic with the big fangs, the claws, the horns up here. The reason I included Omega is because this is not how the figure came. I added on the cape just to give him the look of the Omega, but this was supposed to be just a generic Oni warrior. We never got an official Omega figure, so this is what you would get if you bought the Oni pack back in the day. But if you want to add this black cape here, you get Omega, which is really nice. But yeah, love this new Oni mask piece here. This was introduced in the Sons of Garmadon wave of sets with the Oni mask, and then this is just the face of the Omega and some of the higher ranking Oni. Really nice piece, very creepy, and then of course underneath just that expected Oni face print. These are the Dragon Hunters introduced in the Hunted wave of sets, and I think these probably have the most variety out of Ninjago villain armies besides the snakes, but we'll get to them. This is Jet Jack, Chew Toy, Heavy Metal, and Arcade, all very different and unique characters. You can pick them apart for who they are. This face print for Chew Toy is really funny. Love this classic Knights armor piece actually printed here, and then it's just that generic torso underneath. But again, the armor is what makes him unique. Jet Jack has a unique torso, face print, love the spiky hair and her jetpack. Obviously, Heavy Metal here we know turned out to be Faith. Really sad we never got that as an official figure. Arcade looks great with this printing on the mask piece here, and then generic Dragon Warrior face, but he does have the unique torso print there. And then the other 2 variants of Dragon Hunters that you could get are this generic warrior here, just very generic pieces here. This hood, this was a new hood piece though, so nice to get that mixed in with this brand new armor piece. I love the dual molding on that. And then this is Daddy No Legs, really funny character here. He doesn't have legs, and the exclusive part about him was of course the face print. And if you take that off, you can see it underneath. Really funny character design. He has no legs, so he built this mechanized spider legs to crawl around on. So lots of variety in the Dragon Hunter army, and I quite like them for that. These are the Sky Pirates from Season 6. Skybound, the idea of Sky Pirates is inherently a very silly one, but I think LEGO made it work really, really well. The bright orange stands out, again, much better than the bright orange on the core snakes in my opinion. The way they were able to mesh all these different colors together somehow works. You wouldn't expect it to, but it does. This is Flintlock, Doubloon, Clancy, nice to see a snake, and that peg leg piece is always great, fits in with pirates perfectly. And then Dogshank over here, this giant big fig mold. Very, very unique characters here, and again, you can differentiate each of them very well. And then to build your army, we got a lot of generic pirate minifigures, which was great. This is Siren. There were 2 different versions of her. We got Bucko and Squiffy. Multiple variants of those were included throughout the web of sets, so you could army build them if you wanted to for whatever reason. Monkey Wretch right here, and then the final minifigure was this very Italian looking pirate. I love the head wrap on this. And then again, seeing another peg leg is always great. And of course, there was this other generic variant with exclusive torso, leg, and cap piece. I love the print on this little sailor's cap up here of the Skybound crew logo. Really, really cool. Again, just so many different minifigure variations, and I think that's part of what makes the Sky Pirates so special. These are the Vermilion, again, another take on snakes from Hands of Time, but these were unique because they were snakes made of snakes. If you can see the torso prints on them, it's just a bunch of small little snakes that form together into these armor pieces here to make larger snakes. Kind of a dumb concept again, but I think LEGO somehow just pulled it off. So big kudos to them. I love this dual molded helmet piece here with, again, more translucent coloring there. These were the 2 generic foot soldiers, 2 different face prints, 2 different torso prints, same legs, and then this new armor piece here. This was Blunk and Ragamunk, new warriors over here. They were the 2 generals, again, with that beautiful armor piece. Really, really like that. If you notice, Blunk's armor piece here is completely exclusive to him. It just has these snake heads with their mouths open on the shoulders, and then Ragamunk, the snake mouths are closed. Again, same helmet piece. Love these new helmets. And then Makia over here, General, she was the leader of the army. This is really nice to see this Medusa headpiece from the LEGO minifigure series, recolored in crimson here. That was the first time we saw that. But no armor piece or anything too crazy for her. I think the whole headdress really carries overall. It's not like she needed anything more. These are the Crystal Warriors from Season 15. There were lots of these guys included in the set, so very nice to be able to army build. And there were 2 different variants, the only difference here being the torso and lack of an armor piece. Love the armor piece that this guy had, though. That was a new piece, and seeing it translucent looks great. The translucent just looks so, so good on Ninjago minifigures when they do it. This was a brand new head mold. This thing is insanely detailed. Dual molded, gunmetal gray and translucent purple. Really, really creepy and imposing, and such a detailed headpiece. Love the introduction of the translucent pink into the torsos here. Everything just meshes so well. I think the only thing that looks a little bit off is the purple, but that's just my opinion. Overall, these guys are really, really solid, and that's why they rank at number 5 on this list. The Wolf Mask Warriors are all the way up here at spot number 4. I absolutely adore the navy blue coloring here as their predominant color scheme. Mixing the purple in with it looks really nice. And then, of course, this new wolf headpiece looks really, really good. Again, dual molded, big scary teeth and eyes tied around the back like that. 2 different face prints. One where they're more powered up from the Gong of Shattering. And then this here is a non-canon version. All of them in the show had wolf masks on, but for some reason, this guy just had a hood. Nice to get some variation at least. And then these guys you could army build really, really easily. I think I have like 10 Wolf Mask Warriors, which is the most of any of my villain armies. So absolutely love the way these guys look, and I really can't wait to continue building my army. And then the powered up version from Season 2 Part 2 are these guys here. I think the introduction of purple and red into the color scheme looks great. Love these new molded pieces up here with the claws just kind of coming and scratching at you. Really, really creepy stuff. And then the introduction of gunmetal gray as the base color is nice. Same head print, unfortunately. I wish that had been changed to match the purple and red, but I get why it's there. Overall, I love that there are 2 variants of the Wolf Mask Warriors, a powered up and non-powered up. That makes them really unique, and these are just so easy to army build. The Ice Samurai are coming in at 3rd place on this list. These are the 3 generic warriors, and you can mix and match lots of them. I think I have 10 of these guys as well, just because all the different torso, armor, all those prints makes it easy to swap them around, different face prints. If you swap this around here, there is also another face print where he has ice just shattering out of his eye. Super cool. These were a very unique idea, you know, just generic samurai, which, you know, is a big thing from Ninjago and Japanese culture, but infused with ice. So the translucent pieces, the ice jutting out of the armor and the helmets look so, so good. A lot of this is nostalgia because season 11 was a really good time for the channel and my life in general. And then this over here is General Vex, the leader of the army. He just has a different face print, but it's going to be more of the same underneath on the torso. So exclusive armor and face print, but that's about it for them. Really, really solid army. At 2nd place, we had the Snake Army that started it all in season 1, at least the official first season of the show. There are 4 different tribes, so I'm going to try and coast through these as fast as I can. But these are the Anacondrae here with their general. This was the introduction of this snake tail piece. Really, really great to see. Different head molds, so exclusive head molds to these 2 with different printing. This was a new head mold. This was a new piece back here. Very, very unique minifigures, and this is only a 4th of the army you could build. So setting the Anacondrae off to the side, we'll move on to the Constricti. This was their general here. The shtick with these guys is that they all had shorter legs, so they were a smaller serpentine tribe, but they were very, very strong. They could drill holes. Again, new headpiece, new headpiece, new headpiece, and then all new printing. All different minifigs. These are just absolutely glorious minifigures. The snakes remain unmatched in terms of variety. Moving on, we got the Fangpire. These guys are really cool. A couple of them had 2 heads. And again, new head mold, new head mold, new head molds. So really nice to see here. I love the white and red. And again, that's another thing with the snakes. There are so many of them, and they're all different colors too. It's not like, you know, just 50 of this guy here. It's just so many different varieties of snakes. The last ones here are the Hypnopri. Scales is my favorite serpentine general. I love the whole concept of them being able to hypnotize you. Again, new head mold for Scales. And this guy here, this is going to be the same one we saw on Lasha. One thing about these is there was one other, Mesmo. I have that figure, but it is currently lost, and the new ones are going for about $40–50, so I didn't want to buy that just for this video, but know that I'm missing a singular figure, Mesmo. Go ahead and leave an F in the chat for Mesmo. Hopefully we can find him. But yeah, the snakes just, again, unmatched in terms of variety. So what could possibly top the snakes? How about the Ghost Warriors? These guys were huge back in 2015, and these come very close to the snakes in terms of variety. There were so many different types of Ghost Warriors to collect. These are the 3 generals here, the Soul Archer, Gultar, and Bansha. New piece with this, new armor piece, another new headpiece over here. And the whole idea of ghosts is really, really cool to me, and I think they fit these into the Ninjago lore very, very well with the way they did their colors. Again, navy blue as a predominant color scheme is always a W. The Wolf Mask Warriors have already proved that. This was a brand new Ghost Tail piece as well. They went all out with new pieces with these, just like they did with the Serpentine Wave. And we've got more ghosts to go, more different variations, different torso prints, different face prints, different masks and armor pieces. Again, Lego went crazy, and I appreciate that so, so much, and that makes them very similar to the Ice Samurai in the way that you can mix and match them. These are just tenfold better than the Ice Samurai. And the final thing is you also got these guys here, Screamers, S-K-R-E-E-M-E-R, very, very funny spelling. But again, this just added more variety to your ghost army. And what was really cool about these is you could actually set them on top. So they're like possessing someone. Very creepy and cool at the same time. And just like that, we have ranked all 23 different Ninjago villain army factions. Let me know your favorite down in the comments below. There are so many good ones. It's going to be very divided, I think. Let me know if you like my opinion of having the Ghost Army at #1, or if you think it should have been the Snakes or the Skeletons or anyone else, really. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see more collection videos like this in the future, let me know in the comments. Thanks so much again for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.